welcome to my channel Lang and Lit. Today I have come up with a new poem from the CBSE Class 12 syllabus, and that is A Thing of Beauty. It is written by Keats and it is a beautiful poem, a classic, and a poem which is not only going to be useful for Class 12 students but also is very interesting to read for all those who have a liking and inclination towards literature. It is a very important poem from the point of view of your English syllabus of CBSE Class 12. Many a times questions have appeared from this poem, and it is very usual that the upcoming exam also is going to have one question from this particular poem because it is a classic and very rich in literary devices. I'll be taking up this poem in 4 parts. The first being the author and the background of the poem. Second part will be the explanation of the poem, stanza wise. The third will be the literary devices, and at the end of this video I'll be giving you the new words and their meanings. Before we start with the poem, subscribe to the channel, and if you like this video, please don't forget to press that like button.
Let us start with the poet. John Keats was born on 31st October 1795 and lived till 23rd February 1821. He was a British Romantic poet. He is known as a poet who devoted his life to the perfection of poetry marked by vivid imagery, great sensuous appeal, and classical legends. Coming to the background of the poem, this poem is an excerpt, it is a part from Endymion, which is an epic poem in English. This poem by Keats is based on a Greek mythology of Endymion, who is a shepherd. We see an elaboration of the original story, and the moon goddess Selene is named as Cynthia in this poem. A Thing of Beauty. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of beautiful dreams, and health and quiet breathing. Therefore, on every morrow are we reading a flowery band to bind us to the earth. Spite of despondence, of inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of gloomy days, of all unhealthy and over-darkened ways, made of our searching, yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon. For simple sheep, and such are daffodils, with the green world they live in, and clear rills, that for themselves a cooling covert make. Against the hot season the mid-forest break, rich with sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms. We have imagined for the mighty dead all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring onto us from the heavens' brink. Now I will read the first stanza and explain the same. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams, and health and quiet breathing. The poet says that the beauty stays forever. Anything which is beautiful cannot be surpassed. It cannot come to an end. It remains forever and ever. It never fades away. Rather, it keeps on increasing with the passing time. So, whenever we see anything beautiful, or we hear anything beautiful, when we sense anything beautiful, every time when we visit it the next time, the loveliness of this thing keeps on increasing. So the poet emphasizes over here that anything beautiful, the beauty of it increases with the passing of time. The perception of the poet regarding beauty is that it never goes off with the passing time. Rather, it beautifies more and more. For the poet, beauty is like beautiful shady tree under whose shade all the creatures can sleep peacefully and enjoy good health. The poet over here says that he compares actually the beautiful things in our life to the beautiful sleep in which we take rest, we relax, and we have a hope for future. That is, he talks of the sweet dreams. Sweet dreams over here denote a hopeful future. When we are tired of our daily work, but when we go to rest, we are encountered with these beautiful dreams. And in life, when we are tired, when we are encountered with the same beautiful things, they give us hope for future. And with hope comes good health, whether to say it is mental or physical, both we get through these beautiful things. And it is a place where a person gets quiet breathing, means that if a person is peaceful, becomes peaceful when he witnesses something beautiful. Now, to tell you all that these beautiful things do not restrict themselves to the beauty of things which are in sight beautiful. Not only the things which we can see are beautiful, but anything which appeals to our senses, any of our five senses, whether we can smell that, whether we can hear that, whether we can feel that, all those things together comprise of what John Keats calls a beautiful thing. So, a song can be a beautiful thing, a picture can be a beautiful thing, a nature sight can be a beautiful thing, or even your mother's talk can be a beautiful thing. So, whenever we visit these things, we are like as a tired person who was walking throughout the day in the sun, in the scorching sun, gets rest under the tree shade, is the same way in which when we are encountered by these beautiful things, we also are experience tranquility, peace, and hope. Let's talk about the literary devices of the same stanza. The first being the rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is AABBC, forever, never, keep, sleep, and breathing. That makes it AABBC. Then the figure of speech used over here is alliteration, that is use of the consonant sounds. Sleep, sweet, sweet, sleep, SS repetition. So we get an alliteration over here. Then we have metaphor, bower, quiet. So the beautiful things are compared to a beautiful branch which gives quietness and tranquility to human soul. Now I'll read the second stanza. It says, therefore on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth, spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and overdarkened ways, made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. The explanation to this stanza is that the poet says that every day it is the beauty which fills us with the spirit to live. It means that the beautiful things which we encounter in our everyday life, whether it is a motivational video, it is a motivational speech, a beautiful song, a story of a person who has lived a courageous life, anything which seems beautiful to our souls, it gives us the reason to live, to be on this earth. And then it says that it is the beauty which builds the desire in us to live through the sad moments, the cruel people around us. So here the poet wants to say that without beauty, the earth will be full of cruel people and with sad and gloomy moments. It is the beauty which is created by God which helps us to remove the sadness from our hearts. Now let us look at these lines where it says that these beautiful things are like a flowery band which bind us to this earth, which hold us to this earth. Every day anything beautiful Actually, we are making a reed, we are getting it entangled through our experiences, and then we forget about the despondence, the spite, the slyness, the dearth of noble natures, the lack of people with noble natures. Then only with these beautiful things, with the help of these beautiful things, we try to overcome these cruel people, these people who are there to actually oppress us, and the gloomy days which we witness every day. So all these things can only be weed off, or they can be disappeared with the help of the beautiful things. The literary devices in this stanza are anaphora, the use of the same word in two consecutive lines, where it says of noble natures, of unhealthy ways, and again there is of, so anaphora is there. Next figure of speech is alliteration, use of the consonant sounds in bind us on this earth. So a band that binds us, noble natures, and some shape. So these are the three places where we find alliteration. The next figure of speech is metaphor, where these beautiful things are compared to a reed of a flower, reading a flowery band, and that is metaphor. Then there is imagery. It means that creating a sensory effect of the beautiful things lined up in a string, a flowery band to bind us. So there is an imagery also. Then there is inversion too. Normal order of words is reversed. Like, are we reading a flowery band? Okay, so it is inverted, and that is why this figure of speech is inversion. Now I'll read the next stanza, the third one. It starts with, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon, for simple sheep, and such are daffodils, with the green world they live in, and clear rills, that for themselves a cooling covert make, against the hot season the mid-forest break. So here the poet describes the beautiful things which are present on earth. These are the sun, moon, trees, flowers like daffodils he has named, and the rivers. Now all these things which are mentioned in this stanza are the beautiful things related to nature. Then he says that all these things are like blessing bestowed on all the creatures of the earth. He further describes that the trees provide us their shade, flowers with their beauty, and the rivers with their coolness during the hot summers. All these are the beauties of nature which are like boon to us. Here we'll see the lines where it says that all trees, any tree which is there, whether it is old, young, or even sprouting, they give us a shady boon for simple sheep, like for all creatures, not only for human beings, for even other creatures. These natural things provide a place of solace, provide a space of rest, and such are daffodil. Daffodils is a type of flower. And then it says the clear rills. Rills are streams, small rivers, or you can say tributaries, or small parts of rivers are called rills. So they are a cooling space not only for human beings but even for animals, for birds, and everyone. So against the hot season here denotes not only the summer season in the literal sense, but also when people are tired in their life, when they are going through hard times in their life, these beautiful things from nature give us tranquility, give us peace, give us rest. Now let us see the literary devices from this stanza. The first being alliteration. The figure of speech is alliteration, where sprouting shady, simple sheep, cooling covered. So everywhere we see sprouting shady, SS is repeated, simple sheep again SS, and then cooling covered, C is repeated. So where here we find alliteration. Alliteration is, I just want to make a point that alliteration is when consonant sounds are repeated. Then we have the imagery, trees giving shade, growing process of daffodils, clean rivers and streams, it all is picturized, an image is created. That is why imagery is also there. Then there is an antithesis. Opposite words are placed together. Like for trees, it says trees old and young. So two opposite words when used together are called antithesis. Now let's see the last stanza. It says, rich with sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms, and such too is the grandeur of the dooms. We have imagined for the mighty dead all lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring on to us from heaven's brink. Here the poet further carries on with the description of the beautiful things present on earth, such as the beautiful musk roses which have such a nice fragrance. The poet over here takes an you can say imagery from a forest scene where he says the forest is full of the musk roses. Okay, these are the roses of a type, and their fragrance is all over. A person who is tired, who is sad, is walking through the forest, and just imagine yourself standing at the center of the forest, and then you get the fragrance of these musk roses. It would be a beautiful experience. So the poet also wants us to feel it, and he takes note of these beautiful things. Then he describes the tale of the mighty warriors who laid their lives for their country and for humanity. There are people who are called mighty by the poet. Why? Because they have lived a life which was courageous, a life which was an idealistic life, which has actually made people overcome their own troubles. There are people who have lived lives, who have taught through their lives many good things to other people. There are social activists, there are people who have given their life for other people, for their country. So all these people are called by the poet as mighty people. So he describes over here that these mighty warriors who have given their lives, who have not only like giving their lives as if as a soldier they have given their life in literal sense, but yes, they have devoted themselves throughout their lives to a work of social good. Then also they are called the mighty dead. He says that these beautiful things are the gift from God to us. He says that these beautiful things which are there in this world are like an elixir to our life given as a gift from God. And these are those beauties which are immortal and give us a reason to live on this earth despite having so many sorrows in our lives. Very beautifully he has said that it is actually these beautiful things are like a fountain which is falling from the heavens brink, from the edge. Brink means the edge. They are falling from the edge of heaven, and these things are like elixir to life. They are life giving, and these are the things which motivate, which encourage, which hold people and other creatures to be on this earth, to bear the troubles of this earth and still hope for a good and beautiful future. The literary devices from this stanza are, first is alliteration, where we see that have heard. Okay, have heard, H is repeated, so alliteration is there. Metaphor is also there. Immortal drinks, beautiful objects of nature are forever with a never ending portion of drink. Okay, so these beautiful things are being compared to immortal drinks which are falling like a fountain from heaven. So metaphor is used. Then imagery is there, bushes of full of musk roses and sprinkling the fragrance. Books describing the valor, the courage of the fighters. This is also imagery. Now we will come to the new words which are there, the words which we don't know the meaning of. Now let's begin with the word meaning. The first word is bower, which means a shady place under the tree. Second word, morrow, the following day. Reading, surround or encircle. Despondence, depressed. Gloomy, sad. Boon means blessing. Rills, the meaning is a small stream. Break means a process to slow down. The next word is grandeur, which means high rank or socially important. Mighty, which means enormous. Next word is immortal, which means never dying. The next word, brink, which means edge. Spite means desire to offend or annoy someone. The last word is spal, which means cloud, and here it means cloud of sadness.
So this was the explanation of A Thing of Beauty. I hope this explanation and all the things which I've discussed over here in this video are particularly going to help you. Subscribe the channel and like the video. So till the time we meet next, happy learning and take good care of yourself.